Hello everybody, we are talking about course number 105, Ecology and Environment. In today's session we will talk about unit 1, which is basically Introduction to Ecology and Environment. The reference book for this is R.C. Agarwal, Biodiversity, Nidhi Publications. In this we will be talking about the definition of ecology, definition of environment, difference between ecology and environment, and also we will be talking about the various elements of nature. First we will start with a shloka as it is customary. Giriyaste parvato himavantodharanyam te prudhisto namastu. This is a shloka from Atharva Samhita. It says, Giriyaste parvataha himavantodharanyam te prudhvi tyo namastu. O earth, I salute you, you who are covered with mountains, the water, the forests, the ice and so on. So, we are saluting the earth for its welfare with all its elements of nature. Now, coming to the elements of nature, God has made this nature with 5 basic elements called Panchabhutas. Let me tell you what are the Panchabhutas, 5 elements of nature: air, water, fire, earth and cosmos. I repeat, air, water, fire, earth and cosmos. Now, we will take up these 5 elements one by one. Air is the entire part of the atmosphere which is surrounding the earth, which has got various layers within itself. It has got lithosphere, ionosphere, nanosphere and the stratosphere and so on. So, these layers are important for us. We will see why it becomes important for us later as we go along. Then we have fire. In our body we have all these 5 elements. Mind you, all the 5 elements are covered in the human body also. You know, the heat, the fire which is required for our living. Without the heat and fire, without this temperature, we cannot live. And water, the H2O, which is only available on this earth, not anywhere in the known sources of the nature. And we are fortunate that God has blessed us with fire, water and air. We also have earth, which doesn't need any explanation, the earth on which we live, which supports life on this earth, and also the cosmos, the greater, the universe, the cosmos which is above us. Now, the important thing to note here is God has made a perfect balance between these 5 forces of nature. If this balance between the 5 forces of nature is disturbed, then the living conditions will be disturbed. Therefore, the living organisms, the non-living organisms will not survive. And the more we disturb, more becomes the life and its ability to sustain on this earth. Let us see now how the man is destroying the nature, how we are disturbing the perfect balance between the natural elements, 5 elements of the nature. You disturb, but then nature has got its inbuilt ability to recover itself, but then if you destroy it much beyond its capability to repair itself, then the natural calamities do occur. Let me take you through a couple of case studies to explain how the disturbance between the nature and its impact on the life of human beings and other living organisms on this earth. Recently we had seen the forest fire in Australia, the loss of life, loss of the environment, loss of the other organisms, and the whole disturbance which had come about. Why this has occurred? Why this has not occurred before? We have not heard about it in the year 2017-18 or before, but we have heard about in the year 2019. Why this has happened? This has happened because somewhere some disturbance between these 5 elements of nature has happened. It could be warming up of the oceans, the rising of the temperature in the dry forest. Temperature has risen to an extent where it has sparked into a fire. Once a small fire catches in a very dry grass or atmosphere, it will catch on and on. It goes increasingly difficult to control that kind of a fire. That is the forest fire we have seen. Now we are hearing of coronavirus. Why we had not seen this coronavirus before? We had seen different other kinds of viruses before, and we are now seeing a coronavirus. The whole humanity on this earth is threatened. The life itself on this earth is threatened. So many people have died. In India also 137 cases of infected people, and then 3 or something have died already, and the government, fortunately, thanks to the government, they are taking enormous steps to control this epidemic. Why this has happened? This has happened again because some disturbances happened between the water, between the air, between the fire. Somewhere something has happened, creating conditions for a new virus to develop. That's what exactly it has happened. Therefore, the case studies, these 2 small examples like forest fire of Australia and the coronavirus of India and China and other countries, tells us that man has to live in a way that all the 5 elements of nature live in a perfect balance. When the balance is disturbed, the whole life becomes difficult. Ecology means the whole totality of various entities which are contained in this nature. For example, human ecology, all the human beings, the ecology of living organisms, all the living organisms, the ecology of non-living organisms, the hills and valleys and the earth, the ecology of forest ecology, and so on. In other words, we have different ecosystems. We have forest, we have oceans, we have living organisms, we have non-living organisms, and so on. These individual units are called ecosystems, and a combination of all that is called ecology. Now, there are so many systems like this. We have above the sky, we have different environments. We have moon, we have sun, we have all that which is covering these ecosystems. All these ecosystems are contained in the whole box, if I can call it a box. That box is called environment. Environment is the overall entity. Ecosystems are the individual entities which contained in this. Now, for young children as you are, for example, if you talk of human body, the totality of human body is the environment. The individual, you have lungs, you have kidneys, you have heart, you have mind. Various organs of the body are called ecosystems, individual bodies, ecosystems, and so on. Therefore, we understand that the ecosystems or ecology is individual parts of nature, and environment is the sum total of all these individual ecosystems. Very clear difference between the ecology and environment. We make a list of all the systems which are available to us, although we have talked about 5 elements of nature, but then those entities which are of immediate concern to us, what are they and how we can renew them, how we cannot renew them. In unit 2 we will talk about renewable and non-renewable systems, but then before that we will talk about what are those parts of the nature which are important for us and how we are destroying them in our day-to-day life. Now, why the man is destroying nature? When the man lived in the caves ages back, times immemorial, long ago, when the man lived in the nature, he was just confined to his caves. He goes out, he hunts around, and then he gets the meat and he sustains his life and so on. After ages, he found that animals were not there anymore, or animals were becoming scarce and scarce. They were no more coming to nearer to him to be killed. They were becoming scarce. They're not coming, and he has to go out to find some animals to hunt. So he went out. He wanted to store his food, so he invented fire. He rubbed the stones and found spark comes out. He is able to generate fire. Using the fire, he was able to put that meat on the fire and keep it stored for next day or so on. And he had to travel because he has to go long distances. He has invented wheel. The first two that were invented were fire and wheel. In order to sustain his life, he is encroaching on the nature. First he encroached on the animal life. Later on he started cultivating. He started attacking the trees for fruits, tilling the land for raising the crops, and so on. In sum and substance, man has started depending on the nature. Man has started affecting the nature in order to improve his life. He came out of the caves and he started building small huts and then improving his life. He found that he has to extract his livelihood from nature. In other words, if we can further translate it into our commonly understandable knowledge, he has to adversely affect the nature in order to improve his life. So there is a conflict between the man and his environment. Please understand, let us understand very clearly, this conflict, this is an important examination question also. What is the conflict between the nature and man, environment and man? The only conflict is man has learned to improve the quality of his life, and to improve the quality of life he started using the nature, and the nature in many ways, trees, water, air, started getting adversely affected by the activities of the man, and in the process these entities of nature like forest and water or air started getting adversely affected or polluted. Now, can the man stop growing his culture? Can the man stop improving his quality of life? No way. He cannot stop improving his quality of life. The life goes on and on and on. Today we have reached to the moon, we are reaching to the Mars, and we are planning to reach to the sun, and so on. Man is conquering the nature like never before in unprecedented ways of science and technology. So therefore, this conflict between the man and nature is growing. Now, what is the answer? Man cannot stop, man cannot rest from improving the quality of his life. He has to grow his assets, he has to have a good bungalow, he has to have his car, he has to have his industry, and so on. Therefore, he has to deplete the nature, he has to adversely affect the nature. In other words, if I can use more stringent words, he has to destroy the nature. Now, when he destroys nature, what happens? We had seen the examples. Now, the answer, you may be curious to know the answer. It's only a simple answer. In this unit 1, we will not talk about elaborate answers. As we go along, we will do that. But then right now we will talk about what is the one line answer, is that you extract from the nature your livelihood, no problem, but within a limit up to which nature can replenish itself. God has endowed the nature with the power to replenish itself. For example, human body also, if you take the miniaturized nature is the human body. Human body can repair itself up to a particular limit. But if you go beyond limits, the human body cannot repair itself, and then this will develop into a disease. Similarly, in nature, if you start destroying the nature beyond its capability to repair itself, then the problem comes. Today, I will take one more case study. The forest, the most important thing that we have known around us, because the man had come from forest. So we had taken the origins of how the man has started separating himself from the nature, and then how he has started destroying the nature and so on. So let's take the same example and move forward a bit. Forest. Now, if you look at the forest, the earlier, even in our childhood and the childhood of our parents, that they used to tell us, the whole earth was covered with a green forest. Lot of rains used to be there. In my childhood also, when I was going to the school, for over 4 to 5 months there was rain. Continuous rains. We used to play in the streets. Streets were overflown with water because of it was rain continuously, and then we used to make small boats out of paper boats, and then we used to play in the water. That was the kind of life we were bestowed with. But then later on, I am not seeing that rain anymore. I am not seeing those forests anymore because we have destroyed the forest. Why we destroyed the forest? Because we need timber for construction, house construction, railway construction, or furniture and whatever. We need timber for making paper boards. Incidentally, I come from ITC paper boards, where we manufacture paper and paper boards. So all this paper, writing paper, printing paper, packing paper, and so on, these papers are made with fiber which is extracted from the wood, and the wood has to come from originally the wood has to come from the forest by cutting the trees. Now, when you cut the trees, what happens is, trees give shelter, trees give fruits, trees give seeds, trees cool down the atmosphere because they absorb the carbon they absorb the heat, therefore the normal temperature is retained. Trees help to form the clouds, therefore the rains do come. All this was adversely affected when the trees were cut for various applications that we talked about. Now, we in ITC Bhadrachalam paper boards, I was one of the people who worked in the initial years with ITC Bhadrachalam paper boards. What we did was, we worked with the government, we told the government that we will not cut the trees. But how do we make paper? So there is again a conflict. Man has to progress, therefore writing, printing paper, packing paper is required, and on the other side we took a pledge not to cut the trees. A natural forest we will not cut, and this was a big challenge. It's a very interesting story of how we have solved this conflict, and we have contributed to the environment. And this I would like the students to very carefully remember and write in your examinations as a case study also. Similarly, the people concerned with oceans, people concerned with mines, people concerned with air and so on, various other ecosystems, may create alternative solutions. That we in ITC Bhadrachalam paper boards created an alternative solution. I will tell you what is the alternative solution we have created, but before that it is suffice to say that we can protect the environment while we also work with the environment. This is sustainability, this is called sustainability. Sustainability is nothing but resolving the conflict between man and nature in a way nature remains intact, man would progress. The third solution which we found in ITC, and then we also would plead that other stakeholders like we have ocean people, we have mining people and so on, to come out with some alternative solutions so that the nature is protected. Now, let me talk of how we have resolved this forest degradation issue. We found with the government records that there are a lot of barren lands, uncultivable lands, hills and valleys where no agriculture takes place. And within our factory near Bhadrachalam in Khammam district, we went to the farmers and said, we will take your, farmers were not getting any income from those barren uncultivable lands before, and we said we will take those lands and give you some income. They were all very happy. We took the lands on lease. We planted the subabul, casuarina, the kind of, and also the eucalyptus, which was once popular, but now the more popular are casuarina and subabul, which are the hybrid varieties of the wood which we again created by research. We helped the farmers to plant these saplings, and they grew into a tree in the barren land. So when it grows as a tree, it is becoming a green cover. First we planted 1 lakh hectares, 1 lakh hectares of land which was completely barren earlier. Now it is a green cover. So we found the temperatures have come down, we found the shade is, greenery has improved, and the farmers in the process got some work hours. because they have to till the land, they have to put the sapling, they have to water it, grow it, protect it, and so on. So we found that all these farmers which were jobless earlier started getting some income. In 3 years it becomes a tree which can be cut. From the roots again sprouts come after 3 years again. So in a cycle of 3 cycles, the sapling would give him income. So a person having 1 acre who wasn't getting any income earlier started now getting 25,000-30,000 per annum. It's a big income in the villages. Now it's gone up to 50,000-60,000, I believe. So therefore it's an income. Now if he's got 5 acres, if he's got 10 acres, accordingly the incomes grew. We have not cut a tree from the government forest, natural forest at all. We found this was very useful, this was creating employment, this was protecting environment, this is contributing to the preparation of manufacturing of paperboard, so that the school children get the textbooks, the medical, the pharma people get the packaging material, corrugated box manufacturer get the boxes, and so on. So this is a case study. I would give it to you in writing also. A case of this will be given to you. This is how the in sum and substance we have said how the whole thing about resolving the conflict between the nature and human beings can be addressed, can be sorted out, keeping the welfare of the environment, keeping the progress of the mankind go hand in hand, which is called sustainability. So today we have understood from K.C. Agarwal's environmental biology book, we have understood that the 5 elements of nature. We have started with a shloka, explained all what are the 5 elements of nature. We traced the human evolution and understood how slowly the man became enemy of the nature, but yet we have found solutions as to how he can become friend of the nature also. About renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are the resources which we can use and reuse. Non-renewable are the resources once we use it depletes and it cannot be brought back. Look at the renewable resources. For example, the sunlight is there since times immemorial, and until the sun exists, it's a renewable resource. So we have found the solar power. Using the sunlight, we are producing electricity, so it becomes solar power, solar energy. And this is another way, like Bhadrachalam paperboards, we did the plantations in barren lands and found a via media solution between the nature and the industry. Here in the environmental issues, in the energy sector also, Government of India is promoting the solar energy projects in a big way. And even in the houses also we are seeing solar panels, whereby sunlight falls on the panels and the panels would produce electricity. It is stored and then transmitted. That's how in about 60,000 rupees you can put up a unit on your terrace of the house, and then it will light up your building. Solar energy is one way of not depending on the non-renewable sources like coal. Earlier electricity was produced using coal. Kothagudem thermal power station, Singareni collieries, Manuguru, Jharia coal fields and so on. So this is the non-renewable energy source, coal, if you take an example, and we are using coal for burning, producing energy, producing electricity and so on. And mind you, this coal will exhaust one day. It's not going to be there forever. So therefore, we need to see that the dependence on coal is reduced and dependence on renewable energy sources is resorted to, so that our energy remains intact. That's all about solar power, which is one example of the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources. We have water. Water is another resource that we have. Now, how we have polluted the water? Now, Himalayas, glaciers are melting, the ocean levels are increasing because the earth temperature is increasing with the commercial activity, industrial activity of the mankind. We are using cars, we are letting out the carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and methane, other gases. These are going up into the sky and heating up the environment. In our industries, we have chimneys, the industrial structures are there which let out the waters into air and into ocean, into rivers also, whereby the river water is polluted with the toxic chemicals, and also the air is. With all these pollutants, the air is heated up, and then heating of the air is heating up the environment. Heating up the environment is melting the glaciers. Himalayas, the height of Himalayas has come down of late. Can you believe? I can't think of India being there anymore if Himalayas is not there. The protective cover itself is being adversely affected. Therefore, there is a need to find a via media solution to arrest the rising temperatures of the earth. So for this, what the nations, the various countries have done was, they met at a place, they have made a Kyoto protocol. There are a lot of other protocols which have been made as an agreement between the nations to reduce the emissions into the atmosphere to a level at least. So therefore, this is all with the United Nations help and so on. So therefore, the protocols are being maintained, and then we also in ITC and other companies, we have started reducing the emissions. Government has also taken steps to see that the diesel cars, diesel vehicles in Delhi recently, we had found the unprecedented levels of pollution in the atmosphere. If you go to Delhi, you will only inhale the petrol smell, nothing else. Therefore, even schools were stopped in Delhi for pollution. Therefore, government had stopped registration of the diesel vehicles and so on. So government is taking its steps, and somehow we have to see that our atmosphere is not heated beyond its repairing capacity, so that we keep the ice, oceans in its normal temperature, because once the temperature rises, these ecosystems will melt, and then once they melt, instead of 2/3 water and 1/3 earth, it will be completely water. Floods, we have seen the floods, we have seen tsunami. Okay, so all these things would happen if we disturb the nature. So therefore, the example of ITC Bhadrachalam paperboards protecting the forest cover, we have seen the examples of the industries, the government steps to deregister the diesel vehicles and so on, and see that these ecosystems are maintained and protected. So that is how today's Unit 1 covers, and introduction to Unit 1 also we have given. And the questions, there are certain questions which you can note down from this unit. Number 1, define ecology and environment with examples of. Number 2, what are the 5 elements of nature, and explain the balance between the elements of nature and implications when the elements of nature are destroyed in their balance. Third, what are the ecosystems that we can talk about, and how man is destroying the ecosystems. Give examples of how these ecosystems can be protected, like we talked about the forest and the oceans. So with these 5 questions, you can understand the introduction to the Unit 1. Thank you very much.